and it literally has no value whatsoever, but it's just getting pumped. Those are red flags to me as a trader and an investor, right? To me, it doesn't seem like a true bottom, so it has me on edge. And I still think whether we go higher or not, my guess is there's still more pain to fully flush out crypto. One of the things I like to say is even though I think we could go a little bit higher in the stock market, we discussed that as well, I still think we are headed much, much lower over the next year.
Bitcoin saw fresh volatility on May 6th as low liquidity weekend trading tested the mettle of its trading range. The largest cryptocurrency saw livelier conditions typical of weekend trading while remaining unable to exit a broader corridor in place for many weeks. Amid a lack of ammunition to either clear $30,000 resistance or drop toward key trend lines near $25,000, BTC USD frustrated market participants. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, founder and chief market strategist at InTheMoneyStocks.com and verified crypto investing, Gareth Soloway updates about Bitcoin's current market standing, the final bottom in crypto, and his outlook for Bitcoin in 2023.
So as of now, we talked about in the last video, the 30,500 level where we stopped is psychologically a huge level. So for me, I'm still in the camp where this is still a bear market. If you look at the move down from 69,000 to 15.7, then the bounce to 30,000, it's still relatively within past cycles bounces, right? We've seen in 2018, 2019, heck, we had bounces from 3,500 back to close to 10,000. So percentage-wise, that's even bigger than what we've seen here. I'm also, and we just talked about it previously too, is I'm also very concerned about the psychology of investors in crypto being far too bullish at this point. If this is a bull market cycle, if you look at past bull markets, investors were still very bearish. Like I still vividly remember when Bitcoin was at 10,000 in 2000 and late 18, 19, people were still very scared. And Bitcoin at that point was up 200% basically off of its lows. Here we have, in my opinion, the bullishness is near the bullishness that we saw when we were at the tops at 69,000. So, again, when you see Pepe running, I think it's up like 1,500% now in a week, and it literally has no value whatsoever, but it's just getting pumped. Those are red flags to me as a trader and an investor, right? If this was the stock market and I saw AMC doing that again or GameStop, I would be equally as concerned. And so for me, to me, it doesn't seem like a true bottom. So it has me on edge. And I still think whether we go higher or not, my guess is there's still more pain to fully flush out crypto. And that could come from regulation. It could come from stock market collapsing. One of the things I like to say is even though I think we could go a little bit higher in the stock market, we discussed that as well, I still think we are headed much, much lower over the next year or two in the stock market. And if that does happen, it's hard for me to believe that crypto will withstand 20, 30% down on the S&P 500.
Bitcoin really is in limbo right now and doesn't know what to do. I am back out of a position and just waiting again for one side of this range to break to re-enter, popular trader Crypto Tony told Twitter followers. An accompanying chart showed potential targets in the event of a bearish breakdown. As ever, longer time frames were a cause for more optimistic views. Analyzing the weekly chart, analyst Gert van Lagen flagged the 200-week simple moving average, SMA, as the resistance line to clear next, with Bitcoin possibly completing an equally bullish inverse head and shoulders chart pattern.
This is how I have my chart set up. And basically, you can see we had this is where the banking crisis kind of started, right in this area. We had the big push up. We then had sideways move. We just talked about how that 27,000 level is the current support here. Up here, this is your 30,500 level. And again, just to show everyone where I'm getting that from is if you stretch that line all the way back, you have this little pivot right here, which was hit multiple times after this initial move in Bitcoin. It came down, it hit again, then ran to 65,000. Then it came down again and hit 1, 2, 3, 4 times, then ran to 69,000 before breaking back and consolidating right at that same level. So technically speaking, to me, that's a huge wall right there. And we've already seen it tested and now it's, it's pulling back a little bit, but we're hanging relatively close. So you got to give it credit. It's not collapsing right off that level, which means there is a chance it can break through. Um, so if we just go into the short term, and we talked about this, if you break 30,500, I have this trend line from this pivot right here to here. That would probably be your first area of resistance. So if we get through 30,500, you're looking at 33, 34,000 right up here. On the downside, if we take out the 27,000, you have this pivot here at 24 and this at 25. So those would be your two levels. And then lastly, we just talked about how here's my trend line going into this pivot right through here and right down to here. This would be my concern, right? If we ever get below this line and we break this trend line, that's where I would say, okay, now we're likely at least going to test the lows at 15.7. I still think there's possibility that we could see 12 to 13,000 and 9,000. It seems kind of ludicrous at this point, but again, from some of the stuff I'm looking at on the stock market, that would be the catalyst, is that if the stock market really does take a dump later this year or next year, that selling pressure will take Bitcoin with it.
As Titan of Crypto notes, Bollinger Bands on monthly time frames are setting up a repeat of a breakout event that has occurred only once in each cycle. In the two previous instances shown on an accompanying chart from 2016 and 2019, BTC USD broke through into the upper section of the Bollinger Band channel to see significant gains. Currently, the one-month BTC USD chart shows the price attempting to break above the SMA line, which, if confirmed, would suggest a classic repeat of past bull runs. Commenting, Titan of Crypto described it as an inexorable breakout. BTC is about to break its monthly Bollinger Bands baseline, and when that happens, first target will follow inexorably, he added. That would bring Bitcoin to a solid $63,500.
So my view is that, again, especially, and again, just looking at common sense things like, if we look at this big M top and then how much we've rallied back, I mean, again, bear markets have bull rallies within them, right? Just like bull markets have bear pullbacks within them. And so this, to me, is still showing me that we're within that. Now, it's kind of interesting because you could talk to what we would call fundamentalists in crypto, where they're saying, well, it's the 4-year cycle playing out again, and honestly, it looks like that, right? This is where the 4-year cycle normally would start to bring Bitcoin up. You got the halving next year, all of these factors. I'm just skeptical about that. Number one, everyone's talking about that. That makes me wary that it actually will play out. And number two is that this is the first crypto, bear market where the Fed is not printing money. And so I think considering we don't have a lot of data points, and I know you're a big data person, you only go back to 2009 in our data on Bitcoin. So yes, it's had 4-year cycles, but you've only had 3 of those, right? I mean, it's not a huge data sample size. And so now we have the Fed that's actually tightening. We have inflation higher, so they're somewhat handcuffed in terms of printing money again. To me, that could throw a wrench in the 4-year cycle that we've been accustomed to seeing.
So, what are your thoughts about Gareth Soloway's prediction? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.